Hello and welcome back to another video. For those of you who don't know who I am Teacher Natalie. I'm a keen traveller and I basically make videos on a little bit of travel and my online teaching experience. I've been teaching online for about 3.5 years now, and I've been working for many different teaching platforms. But in this video I want to talk about the pros and cons of Allschool. I've got a list. I've basically been working for Allschool for just over a month now, and I've noticed some pros and cons with the platform. So first I'm just going to talk about the pros of working for Allschool or on Allschool. So I'm going to start off with number one. So you can teach as often or as little as possible, which is amazing. So some of these teaching platforms, you have to do a minimum of 10 hours a week or 30 hours a week. With Allschool, it works differently. You obviously create lessons and you upload those lessons to the platform, and basically parents come along, and if they like the look of your class, they'll enroll their student, their child. So you could literally create a lesson for just once a week for half an hour, and you could potentially get 4 people enroll or 8 people enroll. I'm not sure how many students you're actually are allowed to let into your lesson, so whether it's up to 6 or 8, I need to double check that. But I never allow more than about 6 students in my classes. So yeah, that's one pro to teaching on Allschool. You can teach as little or as much as possible. If you wanted to, you could create 5 lessons and advertise them for 12 hours of the day. It'd be interesting to see if you had thousands of students enroll, but I can imagine if you did, that would be a lot of money. So pro number 2, you can decide how many students you allow in the lesson, and you can choose the price. So say you create a lesson on insects. You could choose to sell that lesson for $10, $4, $12, and you could allow up to 3 students in the class. You could allow up to 6 students in the class. Again, I'm not sure how many students you can allow into your lesson. If there's a maximum number, I think it's 8, might be 6, but I do need to double check. I haven't allowed up to 8 students in my class ever, just because it's a little bit overwhelming for me. For those of you that have taught in a real classroom, where you can teach maybe 30 students, you're probably okay with teaching 6 or 8 in a class. But for me, I usually do one-on-one. I find that easier, but obviously it would be nice to allow more students into my lessons. Number 3, you can teach whatever you like. So if you're an arts teacher, if you have skills in making jewellery or baking, or if you wanted to upload a lesson on geography, volcanoes, the history of kings and queens of Europe, you can teach whatever you want. And again, it's down to the parents to enroll their students if they like the look of your lessons. Another pro that I love about Allschool compared to some of the other platforms that I've taught on is that you don't get penalised for cancelling a class. So you advertise your class, a student will enrol, and then say it's for the following week, and then you've got a dentist appointment that you forgot about, and you think, oh my gosh, the dentist appointment is at 3 o'clock, that is when I'm teaching. If the student has already bought the lesson, so the parents already bought, you can just issue a refund. So you can just cancel the class, say why you're cancelling, and then the parent would receive the refund. So I think that's wonderful. There's no charge or deduction of points if you cancel a class, especially last minute. Number 5, another pro that is that the platform isn't that saturated with teachers as of yet. Some of the platforms out there that I've started teaching on, it's just been a nightmare. There's been thousands of teachers all without students, or they're only teaching a few students a day. This platform is relatively new, so there's more opportunity for teachers to grow and develop and have the opportunity to teach more students at the moment. Number 6, another pro I love about Allschool is that you get paid weekly. Some platforms you get paid monthly, just like any other job. Most jobs pay monthly, or they do in the United Kingdom. When I was living in Australia, and New Zealand, I believe, a lot of jobs paid weekly. It was quite normal to get weekly pay, and I really like that because you have more of a security. I don't know, you feel that you don't have to wait as long for money, basically. Pro number 7, there's a live chat. So when you go onto the website and you have an issue or you're not sure about something, you can just go on that live chat and you can speak to someone immediately and they can help you and try and solve your problems or answer any questions. The last pro is just the application process. It was really fast for me, really efficient and not too difficult. I made sure I did everything properly. I did a bit of research and I followed a few other videos that I found about the application process, but compared to some of them it was relatively easy and you don't really need anything to prove. I mean, I have a TEFL, so I uploaded the teaching certificate, but you don't even need that, and just obviously put a bit about my teaching background. I did a demo video, so I filmed myself on Zoom teaching to a potential student, a pretend student, and that was it really. They're the pros of Allschool, so I'm going to talk about the cons of teaching on Allschool. Okay, here we have the cons of teaching on Allschool. So starting off with number 1, it is a relatively new platform. So there are things that do need to change when it comes to the way parents enroll their students. So I basically created a lesson on dinosaurs. That was my first class, and it was quite popular. It still is. And I would literally display the times I was available. So I would create the class for 9 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I would get parents requesting 9 p.m. at night or a Saturday morning. And it's unusual that I would work a Saturday morning or an evening. So I had no way of really explaining to the parents that I wasn't available for those times, which I felt a bit frustrating. I did mention it to Allschool and they said, oh, it's something they would take on board. Because it wastes the parents' time, if they're requesting a class and you're not available for it. There's nothing wrong with them requesting a different time, but if they could see in your, calendar that you weren't available, because if you're a parent, you've got to pick your kids up from school, or if you have a job in the evening and you're never available, you want to be able to communicate that to the parents. So that is a con. That is a negative about the platform. So one other negative con about teaching on Allschool is that sometimes parents enroll their kids when it's not suitable. I created a lesson on dinosaurs that was all about the 3 time periods. So we had Jurassic, Cretaceous, and we had to talk about the different dinosaurs, when they lived, and it was quite an advanced lesson. So the student needed to have a basic or intermediate level of English and be, the age of 8+ for the lesson. I ended up getting students that were enrolled that were like 4 years old, 5 years old, and they weren't even very good in English. So, when you create a lesson and you've got others enrolled that are 12 years old and you've got a 4-year-old enrolled, that's really frustrating. And I actually got quite frustrated with that. It's not really Allschool's problem or their fault. It's down to the parents to read about the course, and sometimes they just enroll their kid without really looking at what it involves. And this can be Asian parents sometimes. Probably they don't have a great level of English and they'll just assume that the lesson is suitable and it's not. So that's a little bit frustrating. I hope they can sort that out in the future. Okay, point number 3. More communication on how to attract more learners. So basically, once I got accepted, I think I received an email about how it works and all that, but there's not really any guidance on how to encourage more learners. There are times that they list that are more attractive to parents, and it's more like the Beijing time or the Asian time zone. But yeah, you're just kind of left to it. So I wish there was more support in trying to help you get more enrollments, because obviously that's going to help them out as well. At this stage, I might be wrong, but I don't think there's enough students on the platform yet compared to other teaching platforms like OutSchool. So I'm advertising at the moment 2 lessons a day, and I only get a couple of enrollments, and that's literally a week. So I don't get daily enrollments, or at least not yet. Con number 5, The platform can be a little bit confusing if you don't have guidance. So when you get accepted and you get asked you can list a class now, there's no real, I don't find there is information available, but it's a bit confusing. So I basically followed YouTube, and other teachers had done videos that helped me understand how to upload classes and how to navigate the platform, or I would just ask in the online chat. So con number 6, at the moment you can't rely on this as a full-time income. It's a side hustle, if that. At the moment I'm only making $40 a week. And I've got quite a lot of class listed, so I hope that changes in the future, because I would really love to make this more of a full-time thing. The last con, this is probably one of the biggest cons, is that there can be a lot of time wasted creating classes that don't sell. So I create my classes on Canva. It's a free platform. I've got another video talking about how I do that, so you should check that out if you want to learn how to create classes. And I don't like to spend too long on them, but I also want to make sure that they're detailed and look good. And when I do create those classes and upload them, you know, if you upload that lesson and they don't sell, it's just wasted. It's a waste of your time, basically. But I suppose in any business, you know, when it comes to marketing or selling a product, they don't always sell. It's just part of life. But yeah, there you have it. That's my pros and cons at the moment of teaching on Allschool. Hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions about Allschool teaching or whatnot, just leave me a comment in the description. There's a link in there if you do want to sign up. It is free to sign up. Just give it a go. I do love teaching on Allschool, but yeah, there's definitely room for improvement, but there's some wonderful pros and there's some cons. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.